name is Josh Atkins, and I'm the lead game designer for Fable 3. So today we're doing our first hands-on preview. It's a chance for you guys really to get a feel for the game. It's important for us to grasp the player and really make sure that they feel the intensity of the choices that they're going to make, and that the game feels really different than anything else. Because Fable has always been about choices and consequences. And at the start of the game, you are going to be pressed to make a very difficult decision. And it's not only a difficult decision because it's an interesting story moment, but it's a difficult decision because there are no clear right and wrong answers. It's a decision where there's a lot of shades of gray. And we really want to push players to sit down and think about those moments and decide not just, I want to be good, I want to be evil, but really think about, oh my God, what is the right thing to do here? How do I feel about this? And engage you on an emotional level that I don't think very many games actually kind of pull up the player. With Fable 3, one of the things we've done is push the game a bit further into the action territory. And what that meant for us really wasn't just saying, hey, we're not an RPG anymore, but it meant that we really wanted players of all types to be able to enjoy the game. As a hero, you can choose to progress your character in the area of relationships if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can just push your character in the areas of combat. So we've tried to create a system where it really suits players who just want to pick up and play and have a good time, but then players are really interested in exploring the systems. There's areas like the expression system or the relationship system, and there's things like house buying and the economy that are all part of the character upgrade system, but are really there for the players who want to explore it. So the road to rule is the origin of that is to create a visible way to show progression in the story and to show points where your character improves. So you'll be able to actually go back and look at your hero and see how your hero evolves over time. And as you progress through the story, the road changes and becomes, the choices that you make on it become more interesting in terms of which chests are going to open and which things you want to upgrade. When it comes to Fable, I think co-op has to mean something a bit more, at least to us. And so what we ended up doing was pushing this idea of emotion in co-op and partnership in co-op and really trying to drive the idea of playing with somebody else and push that further than it's been pushed before. So what we decided to do was allow you to get married and have a family. Now it sounds really basic, but the idea of actually planning a wedding with your co-op player, deciding how much money to spend on the wedding, and then the ceremony itself is really endearing and it's really sweet. And so I think just having that moment with another player, if you're interested in doing it, is actually pretty profound, and it links you with that other player in a way that I don't think you've been linked in other games. And on top of that, you can have a child together or children. So all these new experiences in a game like Fable that is fairly action adventure themed is brand new, and I think it will link players together in a more substantial way. But then on top of that, we've also done things like business partnerships, where you and another player can decide to pool your money and become the economic lords of the realm. And with Fable 3, we redesigned the combat with a few things in mind. We wanted it to be familiar to Fable 2 players, but we wanted it to feel different as well. So this idea of actually, rather than forcing you to specialize in one attack type versus another, we actually pushed it so that players are going to be encouraged to try to weave attacks together. Okay, I'm going to knock a guy up in the air, and then I'm going to shoot him with a spell, and then I'm going to hit him with the gun when he lands. All of that should work pretty seamlessly in the sense of just pushing the correct button at the correct time, but there's a lot of fun and a lot of actual benefit you get from playing that way as well. We've completely redone the heroes, but we've also rethought morphing. We've tried to make the morphing system kind of twofold. I think we've made it easier for players to understand the cause and effect of what they're doing. If you use the sword, you will get stronger, but the female hero won't look like the East German shot put specialist. She will in fact look like the strong woman that we wanted her to be in Fable 2, and I think we've made nice advancements there in terms of how the hero morphs and making sure that it looks atomically correct. The other thing we've done, and I think this is actually something I'm personally really excited about, is we've pushed a lot more into the area of customization. With the addition of the Sanctuary, it's now way easier for you to decide exactly what you want your hero to look like. And then also you're going to have Jasper or John Cleese, your butler, there to kind of encourage you with certain outfits, or at least give you some feedback on what you've put on and what people might say about it. So there's a lot of fun to be had just pushing your hero, customizing your hero, morphing your hero. We spent a lot of time thinking about how do we take choices and consequences and push it further, and how do we give players an experience they haven't had before. How do we actually deliver a message? And the idea we came up with is a point where it's not just choices and consequences, it's choices, consequences, and responsibility. You are responsible when you're making decisions for a kingdom. And the choices you make will impact the people in that kingdom. And sometimes they're fun little choices, like how to decorate the castle. But sometimes they're really profound choices, like do you drain Bower Lake, right, to mine it? It's economically sound, just like drilling in Alaska. It's economically sound to drain Bower Lake, but is it the right thing to do, and is it what you'll want to do as a leader? Because it will impact so many people. Fable 3 is coming out on Xbox 360. It launches on October 26th in the US and October 29th in Europe.